Welcome to my channel. I'm John Stark, Mac the Movie Guy, and I'm hoping to not make this review too long, but if I get long-winded, I apologize. I'm a blind film critic, and if you've seen the title of this video, you know what I'm about to get into, but I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to talk about the existence of this movie a little bit, and then we'll get maybe a little bit into the film and the audio description. But you know how like Netflix is saying that they're gonna like spend less money on, they're basically gonna make like less movies but make more big ones. I feel like this Love and Gelato is exactly the kind of movie that gets killed. Like the project dies. There's no one is in this. Literally anybody. They could all be just interchangeably replaced with random people and nobody would notice. There isn't a single cast member in here that people are like, oh my god, I have to see this film because so-and-so's in it. It in a way, what this film is it's like a middle finger to Hallmark, which is consistently makes films like this, but they do not have the budget to fly people to Europe. So Netflix is like, well, we're make a elevated Hallmark movie where we'll just take a cast of nobodies and we'll send them to Europe and basically just make Eat, Pray, Love, Under the Tuscan Sun, My Life in Ruins, When in Rome, Letters to Juliet, like all of these films that have all featured just some generic young, middle-aged, older, whatever woman who needs to find herself in Europe. This is like an entire subgenre of films, and it's been done so many times, and it's so formulaic now that Netflix is proving that the formula works so well that if they follow the recipe, they don't even need a star anymore. They don't even need recognizable cast members if they just make the formula. It's like cooking from a cookbook. If you just do the recipe, the theory behind that is that you will make something that tastes good. So that's what they've done. They took a film, they cast a whole bunch of people who cost a whole lot of nothing, and they put them in this film, and it just follows the same plot as everything else. This could literally just be Emily in Paris, the movie. This is just some random young girl who is trying to find herself for whatever interchangeable reason. And of course, she doesn't actually find herself. What she finds is a guy, you know. She uncovers the past. It's all very predictable. It's all very much deja vu. It's totally been there, done that. There's absolutely nothing new to this film. There's nothing that you haven't seen in Prince and Me. There's nothing that you haven't seen in any of these films where some white girl goes to Europe. I'm assuming this girl is white. I just totally believe that because it's always a white girl going to Europe. You know, it is always, there's like, there are just not enough films where Sanaa Lathan or, you know, Gabrielle Union get to go to Europe and find themselves and fall in love with an Italian or a Greek or a Frenchman, you know. Those actresses sadly have not gotten to do this. Viola Davis didn't get to find herself in Paris. These are not films that exist. So maybe they'll open that up next. Maybe that'll be the expansion of this beaten to death, just overdone, whatever you want to call this. And the funny thing is, because Netflix literally has the recipe, they have the book, they have the joy of filmmaking, not the joy of cooking, which was, you know, Julia Child, but they have the joy of filmmaking, and they went to the chapter on how do we make that film where the white girl goes to Europe, and they just followed that to an absolute T and just did it. They just played it out. The exact same way that every other film has ever played this out. The same way that Amy Adams did when she went into Leap Year, or Hilary Swank and P.S. I could literally just keep listing films. I could do this all fucking day long. That's how obnoxious this is that there are so many people. If you're a white actress that has not yet made a trip to Europe to find yourself and find a love interest, what's wrong with your career? Like, do people not love you? Like, obviously not, because everyone else has one. So why not you? Like, why have you not been given the opportunity to just traipse around Europe and find some random hot European actor to act opposite? Because everyone else has, and now they're just starting to give them to anybody. Like, they didn't even bother to give this to somebody, like, kind of relevant. Like, when Leighton Meester had her own Netflix original film earlier this year, you know, or our beloved Flash, Greg Gustin got a Netflix film. Or, you know, this, I don't know who these people are in this film. Does it matter? No. The main girl, whatever her name is, I don't care to learn it. It's charming enough. They found somebody who deserves to have a career, put her in this film, just like, you know, there are like thousands of these kinds of actresses in all of those Hallmark movies where you go, oh, I haven't seen her in a while. I remember when she used to be in a TV show 20 years ago. What's she doing now? Oh, Hallmark movies. Cool. You know, that it's, oh, you used to be on Full House and now you're doing Hallmark Christmas movies every year? Awesome. That's kind of the equivalent of this. They just picked a girl and they put her in a film and they sent her to Europe. And if you want to watch that, then watch this, because it plays out exactly the way that you think it will. Yeah, she finds a European, and guess what? Just like almost literally every single European anybody has ever found, the dude can cook. Shocker. I know. I'm so surprised. When they revealed that he could cook, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. This is such a revelation. This is so totally different from everything else. Who knew that a film called Love and Gelato would feature a European man that has the ability to cook? And that's his dream and his passion? Are you kidding me? It's like they watched Emily in Paris and they were like, what if we did this as a film? Yeah. I'm obnoxious, but this film is obnoxious. The existence of this film is obnoxious. And the fact that this film isn't terrible is obnoxious. Because all it means is it just came off the factory line, you know, just right, perfect formula, just exactly the way it was supposed to, just right out, they just pooped it out on just served it up. And, yep, tastes like chocolate, and just right off the assembly line. Cool, thanks. That's what this film is. You don't need to know anything about it, because I promise you've seen this film before. If you've seen enough films where a woman goes to Europe for some reason and does stuff in Europe, and rides around on, they always ride on the bicycle, the scooter things, the mopeds, you know, that we always got to have those in these films too. So there really is nothing in this film that I was like, ooh, they really changed that up. Oh, they turned that around. Oh man, they really put this on its head. Like, no, there's nothing, none of that. Nothing happens. This is the most generic film I think Netflix has made in quite a long time. And I think they know it too. I think there's an executive team at Netflix giggling right now. I think if they're watching my review, they're like, he's on to us. He's on to us. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on to you. This was way too obvious. This is like, no one cared. I'm not even sure like real people wrote the script, or like, I'm sure the algorithm that tells me what movie I should watch, like, recommended for you, I'm sure that algorithm just wrote this movie. This film was probably the first script totally written by AI. Like, there's no need for this. I saw another critic do a review of this, and they're like, "This is based on a book," and I was like, "Who fucking wrote this book? This book is just every other book that's ever been written about a woman going to Europe. There's nothing original about this. Was this a bestseller? Do women just love reading books about other women going to Europe? Just go for yourself. Stop reading books about other people doing it and just go. Damn." All right, so yeah, the audio description is fine. It's it's written and directed by the same person, so that was a nice change of pace. I should say written and narrated by Liz Gutman, the same person, not directed. Maybe she directs herself too. I don't know. She's really talented. So she did a good job. But then again, I'm sure she was zoning out and just started like describing other films in the middle of the film, and she just starts describing Under the Tuscan Sun halfway through. You know, she's like, Diane Lane is walking. Oh, what? I'm loving Gelato. Oh, where's Julia Roberts? Is Kristen Bell in this one? What movie is this? You could have like a marathon and just confuse the hell out of everybody. People would literally, they could fall asleep and wake up in another film and think they were watching the same film. Yeah, it's formulaic. It is what it is. I'm actually, I can make fun of this film for days, but at the same time, I'm totally fair to movies. And this film is formulaic and generic, but it does exactly what the formula tells it to do. You have been given just a generic formula movie. And it's not bad, and the cast is charming and fine, and they can all act, and it hits all of the marks it's supposed to hit that every other film before it hit. So the worst thing that I can say about it is how incredibly unoriginal it is, and how obviously unoriginal it is. But is it bad? No, I've actually seen bad films. I've seen incompetent filmmaking this year, and to credit whatever team of robots put this together, they robotically assembled a film that is not the worst thing in the world to watch. So I don't know, if you're on date night and you just love, like, if watching women go to Europe is like your genre of films, and you're just like, oh my God, there's another one of those, get me up in that film right now, then you will not be disappointed by Love and Gelato. So, I can't give it that good of a grade because, my God, it's so derivative. It's to an incredible fault. It felt almost like a parody. Like when they make like a scary movie and it feels so close to something else where you're like, are they making fun of the genre? No. But this film isn't funny enough. It's not meta enough. So it's obviously not trying to. It just feels so much like you're like, wasn't that was in another movie? Wait, that's in another movie too. Wait, it just feels like it's been assembled from parts of other movies, other better movies. So I'm gonna give this a very small thumbs up, and I'm gonna give this a C plus. So that's a slight recommend. Only really for the people who this will hit home for them. For anybody else, there is nothing special here. There's nothing to rush out and see. Watch anything else. If there's something in your Netflix queue and you're like, ooh, I could watch Love and Gelato or this. If Women in Europe is not your genre of film, don't bother. Let's send Netflix a message so they don't just keep sending random women to Europe to do the same exact thing repetitively over and over. God forbid they make a sequel to this film. Anyway, they already have a TV show that basically does the same thing. So we don't need a film franchise for Netflix that is basically Emily in Paris, the movies. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Website is macthemovieguy.com. The audio description project will let you know what films have audio description and where you can watch them. And the adna.org will let you know what else Liz Gutman has done and what she's written, what she's narrated, all that good stuff. You can track her career, or you can use it to search for other films. If you're, curious about who narrated a certain film, you can check that up over there. But until the next whatever Netflix throws at me, I've already got another movie out. They're just throwing these movies at me. I didn't even watch. I was behind. I'm watching this the week, and something else came out, and this came out last week, and it calm down and stop releasing generic crap on me. Okay, it's getting really hard to catch up on all of your generic Netflix crap. Anyway, I think them releasing less movies is a good thing. Just make them better. That's all you have to do is make better movies. You can even just buy them out of Sundance. You don't even have to make them yourselves. There are people who make them and they're looking for people to buy them. Just buy movies and stop doing love and gelatos. All right. I don't know what my next review is going to be, but it's got to be better than this. I just hope. Or at least more original.